Let's fire away. We start on the Thursday nighter, December 16th, 8:20 p.m. Kansas City Chiefs 9-4, 3-2 on the road at Los Angeles Chargers, 8-5, 4-3 at home, SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. This opened at 3.5. That 3.5 was at plus 102 and quickly moved to threes. Threes right across the board. Pinnacle sort of hanging at 3.5 on the board. That's at plus 114, minus 3.5 for the Chiefs. But if we want the Chiefs at minus 3, we can get them right now. And I'm not sure why we wouldn't at this point. This total opens up at 49.5. We have 51.5s and 52s on the board. When we go to the action in this spot, we have 6,279 tickets in, 25% of the tickets on the Chargers, and 53% of the cash. So sharp action clearly here on the Chargers. Then we have 71% of the tickets on the over and just 52% of the cash, which is interesting. Let's start with the Chiefs side of things, set the table, and then hand it over to Bebsie and keep an eye on what the chat is doing. Let's go. Chiefs come in off their sixth straight win, 48-9 at home over the Raiders on Sunday. Mahomes was excellent, 20-24, 258 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Certainly looks like a veteran out there. Not trying to do too much. Tyreek Hill caught 4 passes for 76 yards. McCole Hardman caught 2 for 59. Derek Gore ran 9 times for 66 yards and a touchdown. Clyde Edwards-Helaire ran 10 times for 37 yards and a touchdown. The Chiefs defense had 5 different guys record a sack. They forced 5 turnovers. Cornerback Rashard Fenton was active but did not play. Defensive tackle Chris Jones was put on the COVID list today. Offensive tackle Lucas Nang was inactive. He's listed as questionable. L'Jarius Sneed is dealing with the death of his older brother in a stabbing on Friday night, so he missed his first game of the year. His parents were in prison growing up, so it was his brother that was largely responsible for raising him. Sneed missed his first game of the year. He had, before this game, he'd been on the field for more plays than any other player on the defense. So that's L'Jarius Sneed. So we expect him back in the lineup. Chargers coming off a 37-21 home win over the undermanned New York Giants. The game was tied at 7 before the Chargers broke it open with 30 straight points. Herbert, 23-31 for 275 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. And he's the first player to reach 30 touchdown passes in his first 2 seasons. He has the most completions by a player through his first 2 seasons at 734. The second fastest player to reach 8,000 career yards at 28 games. Keenan Allen out due to COVID, so extra attention being paid to Mike Williams. Jalen Guyton caught 3 passes for 87 yards and a touchdown. Joshua Palmer caught 5 passes for 66 yards and a touchdown. Mike Williams still got in the act, 6 catches for 61 yards. Austin Eckler ran 12 times for 67 yards. Caught 2 passes for 17 yards. Hurt his ankle in the third quarter and didn't return. That was precautionary, supposedly. He hasn't practiced this week, and he is questionable for Thursday. Keenan Allen is expected to clear the COVID protocols in time to play Thursday, and the defense looked very strong again. Sacked Mike Glennon twice, hit him 7 times. Nick Neiman picked him off. They were without Derwin James, who hurt his hamstring in practice on Friday. He's listed as questionable. Rashawn Slater, offensive tackle, was added to the COVID list on Monday. And Linval Joseph, safety Trey Marshall, safety Gilman, cornerback Asante Samuel were all inactive last week. Now listed as questionable this week. So here we go. Bebsie, we're going to have what will become a very public road favorite. They are sitting here with 75% of the tickets and just 47% of the cash. So sharps are clearly betting the Chargers at home. And is this a trap that I am going to fall into? Is this a trap I should be afraid of? A lot has changed in 6 weeks. Take it away, Bebsie. Chiefs, Chargers.
This does feel like a trap to me, Jimmy, and I think if I was you, I would be a little bit leery of this. A road favorite on a Thursday, and yes, to answer your question, Trusty, I hate that this game is on Thursday night. This deprives football fans of a good game. Me, because I won't watch it. And goddamn, I'd like to watch it. But I'm not going to because I hate Thursday night football. And you should all boycott it too. However, I do think, I think this is a trap, Jimmy. I think this is a tough spot for the Chargers. They're coming off, the Chiefs. They're coming off an absolute shit kicking of another divisional team. But this is not the same divisional team. The Raiders have lost their way. The Chargers, however, are still a very good football team. They are in the playoffs and they're at home, even though the Chargers don't really have home games. Because if you've ever checked out SoFi in a Chargers game, you see how just abysmally sad the presence is for Chargers fans. But I like that, and I also like the under. I see a bunch of guys in the chat that are on KC in the over. I disagree here. I see this. I see both of these teams struggling to get their high-powered offenses going. That's more of a hunch. That's more of a gut feeling on that. But it also has to do with the fact that it's late in the season, divisional Thursday matchup. So I think that spreads that total's a little bit high. So for me, if I was going to bet this, I would take the Chargers in the under.
It just feels like a spot that I've learned to stay away from. The dreaded road favorite in a divisional game that I've learned to stay off of. And so why would I change that now? We know that the public is going to come in and destroy the Chiefs here. Twatty Latte, thank you for the dono, my man. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania's finest Twatty Latte. So I think that the Chiefs are turning into a juggernaut, but we've seen what their defense looks without Jones in it. We also they have rave reviews of Melvin Ingram. Is this a revenge spot for him? Do you think here?
I don't know if it's a revenge. It's not like Melvin Ingram left on bad terms. You know, he was injured for a long time. He had some great years with the Chargers, but he got up there in price, and he, it was more. If anything, it was a money thing that didn't make sense given his history and the spot in his career. I as far as I know, there's no bad blood there. Yeah, of course you want to play hard against your old team, but I mean,
Mr. Funmonk says, how can you like the Chargers with that defense that gave 21 points to Mike Lennon? I don't really count that as a real 21 points, personally.
Yeah.
They were up 37. The game was in hand, and they left their foot off the gas. And that's the danger of taking those team total unders, which I was on. 14 meaningless points when reserves were in. Not all the reserves were in, obviously, but that doesn't concern me at all that they let 14 points in the fourth quarter to Mike Glennon and the Giants. I don't think that's a sign of their defense. But has their defense improved over the last couple of weeks? Because it certainly feels that way, Bebsie. What do you think of this Chargers defense?
I think both of these defenses have improved. The Chargers defense, obviously, a little more recently. Kansas City's Chiefs defense has been playing better. It seems like as this season's gone on, week after week, they're looking better. But yeah, both of these defenses are playing better. That's another reason why I kind of lean to this under here.
Well, I believe that we haven't seen the ceiling for this total. Right now, it's a very public total, 71% of the tickets. It's just like the Chargers. The Chargers, so at this point, and right, this is Tuesday night. We are 48 hours before kickoff. Exactly. And the Chiefs and the over are public, and the Chargers and the under are sharp. Of those two spots, I believe it would just be the under that I'd want, but I'd need Jones in there. Do you agree that you would need a Chris Jones in there if you wanted to bet the under?
Yeah. I mean, obviously the Kansas City Chiefs are a different team with Chris Jones in there. So yeah, that would factor in.
So at this point, I am not going to take, just like my man Nuke Worker says, I love capping with these guys who've been in the game for so long. Simple. He's just so succinct with his breakdown. Dreaded road favorite in a divisional game on a Thursday night. No thanks. Okay, so I'm not going to smack this Chiefs spot, but I do have interest in the under. Twatty Latte says, with KC's defense playing better, I think they'll cover almost every game. With Jones, I like the under in this one. So that will be the caveat at this point. I would have a lot of interest in this under. And if Chris Jones was in, I think it's probably best to take the first half under. It's probably best to ensure that there's no fourth quarter hijinks that could take this away. So if Chris Jones is in, I believe that the first half under will be my plan of action. And we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see because he is on the COVID list and he is vaccinated. So we'll have to wait and see. That is the Thursday night